computer. Yeah. Okay. So I just want to ask, what is your name and what field of psychology do you work in?
Sure. My name is Megan Robbins, and I am a social personality and health psychologist.
Ah, super cool. Yeah, what was the moment you like fell in love with psychology at first?
I don't know if there was a moment, but I remember thinking in high school that I didn't know what to major in for college. And fortunately, they offered a psychology class, and I thought, oh man, like you get to be curious about people and make that actually a field of study and maybe do that for work. So that sounded really interesting to me.
Yeah, that's super cool. Also, what would you like to say to undergraduates who want to like fall in love or get into psychology?
I would say get lots of experience. So just, read anything that piques your interest. If it's boring to you, unless it's for a class, right? Then just don't bother, right? You follow things that are interesting to you, and that should help foster your passion. Get experience in terms of getting lab experience. We have a lot of active research labs where we need help, and that help, is a two-way street where you get to learn what is and isn't for you. It's also important, it's okay if it doesn't work out in the first lab, that it doesn't seem like something that you want to do for a living, then that's important knowledge for following your passion as well.
Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, I know your research tends to be in like the social being field, more like how people um I work in like case labs. So I know you kind of work in similar to the fact of like she's like how you deal like stressful periods, there's like how is people experiencing it. I know
Mhm.
your function like with the ear, which I thought was super interesting. I just like listening when people deal with like stressful situations. What do you
Mhm.
think your research may help with or like may do down the line, like in the future?
What might my research?
Oh yeah, like how might it help out in like the future, or what do you think like
Yeah.
implications could be down the line?
Yeah. My hope has always been that determining how people's social interactions help them cope with stressful experiences or just with life in general. How they facilitate relationships, how they might foster your health and well-being. Knowing those sort of correlational findings, my hope is that that can build interventions or ideas for interventions that people might be able to enact in their regular daily lives. So, from using the ear, recording people in their normal daily interactions with others, we're getting close to how people interact in their normal daily lives, which might make intervention work for health and well-being all that much more applicable to people's lives and maybe more readily applicable.
Yeah, that's super cool. And I guess the last question would be like, what is your like favorite and least favorite part of being like a psychology professor or a person who is a researcher in psych?
Um, Favorite and least favorite, I'm going to go ahead and say it's the same thing. Um, my favorite and least favorite thing about the job is the freedom that we
Nice.
have. So it's a very double-edged sword, and I've experienced it that way my whole career. Um, Anything that you want to study is open for you in this field, because your lab is what you make it, the research topics are what you make. Nothing exists without you sort of even building the ship, let alone steering it. But and that can be very invigorating, it can be empowering. If there's a problem you want to tackle, then okay, you just have to learn enough about it and figure out how to tackle it. But the reason it's a double-edged sword is because having that kind of freedom can be paralyzing sometimes. It can be really daunting, right? If anything in the world is fair game, then wow, you better figure that out. so, um, so I see it that way. I think that graduate students and maybe even undergraduate students can often find it daunting and then think maybe this isn't for me. And I would just say, try to push through that to see the other side too, see the freedom that you have in this type of career.
Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, I'll finish recording. Um,